Hi everyone, welcome to our special series with Dr. Vanita Ratan talking about all things skin of color. Dr. V, so lovely to have you here on the sofa again. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you so much for having me.
Congratulations on launching this amazing product, which we talked about last year.
Thank you.
When did you launch it?
Literally last summer, but we'd been developing it for about 2 years before that. There just was nothing for skin of color in terms of mineral sunscreens that didn't leave a white cast. But it's a very difficult product to make and to formulate. And originally I thought, oh, it's because, people haven't really looked at skin of color and that's why they've never made it. But actually it's a difficult product to make. And so I needed it for my skin, and if I need it, then other people need it. And for me, melasma is my biggest issue. And so I do tend to prefer mineral sunscreens because it's anti-inflammatory. But also I put in here MelaShield, which is a UV stable tyrosinase inhibitor. So it basically helps with pigmentation during the day. And for someone like me where, melasma is your biggest concern, that was very important. I also put Blue Shield in here,
Yes.
technology, which is...
I know.
For us nowadays, how many times a day are we looking at our phones? And
All the time.
On the screens. And so I think for me it was important as well. So it really was probably one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, but also probably the most rewarding, and I think helps the most number of people globally. So,
And how has everyone responded to this since you've launched it?
I think the reviews have actually been, it really did shock me. I think we had over 1,000 reviews on our website, and people reorder all the time, and it's global. That's the thing, for the fact that you get to help people in other countries.
Yeah.
With the same issue. We're all struggling with things for skin
Yeah.
of color and skincare for skin of color and sunscreens for skin of color. This is not a one country situation. It is affecting all of us globally. So the fact that you can actually help everybody is just...
That must feel so rewarding.
It truly does. And it's like a labor of love. Everything I ever do is what doesn't exist, what do we need, and what is going to help my global skin of color family the most. Those are the number one questions that I ask.
Well, that is super impressive. Now, I use this. I've used it today as part of my daily skincare routine, which is obviously guided by Dr. Vanita, and it's amazing. And I use it as a primer. It protects me every day as part of it. And why is it important every day for everyone to wear SPF?
Okay, so there's a big misconception that the only reason you wear sunscreen is to prevent sunburns, or you only wear it when you're outside, or you only wear it when you're in a hot country. But actually you have to wear it all year round, whether it's raining, whether it's sunny, whether you're inside. UV rays come through the windows, and UV rays basically stimulate free radicals in your skin. Free radicals damage collagen, so you get premature aging. So that's number one. Number two, UV rays lead to skin cancer. And yes, skin of color also gets skin cancer. So we do need to protect against that. And I think that's probably something that we didn't really discuss much growing up. I think a lot of us as children really didn't wear sunscreen.
No.
But our children are going to be much better off. From 6 months old, they're wearing sunscreen. That's part of my children's skincare routine. They know,
And kids can use this as well, which is amazing.
Absolutely. So they're going to have better skin than us. They're not going to get melasma like we got melasma. They're going to age much better than we did. So there's many benefits to wearing sunscreen.
Yes, and we know that. Definitely. So what inspired you to launch in Singapore? And is it for all ages and skin types?
Okay, so I would say I'd recommend this more if you have normal, combination, or dry skin. I probably wouldn't recommend it if you have oily skin because it has a dewy finish. So let me show you on my hand actually what it looks like. And you can put a little bit on as well just to show how it rubs into your skin. But basically it has a dewy finish, which you're not gonna like if you have oily skin. But if you have any other form of skin type, you're gonna like it. So that's
great.
basically the finish that you get is like this.
See, it's not too oily.
Yeah.
It's just perfect balance. Do you see what I mean? And it just absorbs into the skin.
Yeah.
Which is what I love. So it doesn't leave you feeling so greasy and oily like certain sun creams can. And it's just a beautiful blend. There you go, into your skin, just like that. And I love it. just that smooth, lovely, rich, velvety primer. And then you put your foundation and everything on it and you're good to go, which is fantastic. So, these are all the amazing benefits, right? Because there's no drying alcohol, no fragrance, it's cruelty-free, dermatologist approved, and helps with hyperpigmentation and anti-aging. So we're going to go into all of that now. What is the difference between mineral and chemical sunscreens?
Yes, it's confusing. You think sunscreens are sunscreens. What's the difference? So there are a few differences. We generally tend to divide them into mineral versus chemical sunscreen. Mineral sunscreen is essentially zinc oxide. It's either zinc oxide or titanium dioxide. And with chemical sunscreen, it's the longer names. It's the chemical filters, and there's a whole list of them. So the main reason I tend to prefer mineral over chemical is, number one, it doesn't enter the bloodstream.
Right.
So it doesn't enter your breast milk, your urine, or your blood, and compared to chemical, which does. There may be no long-term side effects of this. There's not enough data on it yet, but for me and for my family, I'd rather something that doesn't enter the bloodstream, especially when you're using it every day.
Of course.
The second thing is, I love that it's anti-inflammatory. So being anti-inflammatory is important because all day long, your skin is under constant assault, whether it's from UV damage, whether it's from pollution, whether it's from central heating. And actually, you want to be soothing your skin throughout the day. You want to minimize the amount of free radicals that are being generated that are damaging your collagen. So anti-inflammatory is really important for skin of color. So that's why I tend to prefer mineral over chemical. But I would say, if you like chemical, fine. I'd rather you wore something rather than nothing.
Yes.
It's just not even a question. Wear your chemical if that's what you love, as long as you're wearing a sunscreen.
Yeah, which is really, really important. Now, why are pregnant women encouraged to use mineral sunscreen over chemical sunscreen?
For that reason, actually, because during pregnancy, it's not like you do clinical studies on pregnant women. Right? That would be unethical. So you make inferences. We know, for example, you shouldn't be using vitamin A when you're pregnant. It's not that we do clinical studies on vitamin A during pregnancy, but it can enter your bloodstream. And same with chemical filters, they can enter the bloodstream, and we don't know how that affects. So it's more that we're just a lot more cautious when it comes to pregnancy.
Right, amazing. So these are, again, amazing tips and advice from Dr. V for all of you. Why is blue light protection important in sunscreens?
Okay, so blue light is a form of energy. Any form of energy, even if you're in the kitchen and you have steam on your face and you have melasma, your melasma is likely to get worse. All form of energy will lead to aging of the skin and worsening of melasma. So this includes visible light energy, UV rays. This is all forms of energy. And so blue light is also not great for the skin. And have you heard of something called tech neck, for example?
Yes.
Where you're sitting down and you get pigmentation, or you get fine lines across the neck because your neck is downwards and you're looking at a screen and you have blue light energy hitting the neck.
Right.
So actually, when you put your sunscreen on your face, you want to also do the neck. And that's why we put Blue Shield into Inzinkable, so that you're covering both areas.
So that's a great tip. So do you recommend to everybody, even at night when they're using their phone, apply Inzinkable?
I did get asked about
right?
that. I feel like that's maybe one step too far. Like, even I think that's a lot.
But if it's protecting you,
I know, but I
when
mean,
everyone is on their phone at night. So there you
you're
go.
right, actually, you are right.
Right?
We shouldn't be though. We should
We
be
should
putting our
not
phones
be.
in another
We
room.
should not be. That's when you should be having your me time,
Zen time.
and social detox time,
Exactly,
right?
exactly.
So what does SPF 50 mean? And does it mean UVA and UVB protection?
Really great question. So SPF 50 is purely about UVB rays, right? So a good way to remember it is UVA for aging, UVB for burning.
Right.
So it's protecting you from burning, but it doesn't protect you from UVA rays, which age you.
Right. Interesting.
So what you really want to look for in the packaging is broad spectrum, PA with 4 pluses. You want maximum UVA protection, which is what we've done with Inzinkable, so that you are being protected from UVA and UVB rays.
Okay, that's so interesting. I feel like I'm always learning things from you. Go for a whole educational process here, which is always great to know. And now, what is so special about Inzinkable compared to other mineral sunscreens, would you say?
I think for me, the most important thing was that it has no white cast. Because honestly, if it's not aesthetically pleasing, you're not going to wear it. And then if you're not wearing it, what's the point of buying it? And you know, you're not helping that person. So number one is make sure there's no white cast. And that's an extremely difficult thing to do for brown and black skin. Number two is I put MelaShield in, which is a trademark technology. And that is purely to help with hyperpigmentation during the day, specifically for skin of color.
Right.
So for us, our biggest issue is hyperpigmentation. It's not like we age badly. You know, we get wrinkles later than Caucasian skin, but we get hyperpigmentation from literally, like I always say, one scratch, one bite, or one burn, and we
So
pigment. So, you know, for us, this is one of our biggest concerns. And that's why I made sure that was in there for skin of color.
Yeah. That's so important to know. And how do you use it?
Okay, so I would do it first thing in the morning. So after I've washed my face, I use our micellar gel wash from the Daily range. And then I use our CeraPep Brightening Moisturizer. So that's the ceramide peptide licorice root extract to brighten the skin, and niacinamide. Then I use our Inzinkable. So Inzinkable, you put 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon on the back of your hand, dot it around the face. That's really important, rather than rubbing your hands together and wasting product. So dot it around the face and then rub it into the skin.
Right.
It takes, I'd say, maybe 30 to 40 seconds to rub it in.
So why is dotting it around the face more important than when you rub it?
Because
So
as soon as you do this,
Yeah.
you've wasted the product on your hands.
Right.
What you want to do is make sure you've put it everywhere, and around the eye area is fundamental. It's an area we always forget, and that's where you get fine lines first.
That's so true.
So you want to dot it around the face and then use minimal fingers to basically rub it in.
Amazing.
And within 30 seconds, it will
Full
melt
coverage,
into
yeah.
the skin. Yeah.
And yeah, that's a really good tip. That's interesting. I've just taken that way as well. And where can you buy this amazing product? Where is it available from?
So you can buy it from the website, so Skincare by Dr. V. At the moment, we are purely focusing on that, so that we are focusing on logistics, on getting it to different countries and shipping it from here. In the future, we may be looking at other retail websites, but at the moment, I just want to do one thing properly and make sure that we're serving as many people well as I can.
And it's a great bottle. Look at the size. You can literally prop it into a suitcase, into your beauty vanity bags, and take it away even when you're going away, right? So there you go, guys. This is going to be that, you know, every one of you needs one of these, right? It's going to be your product that you're going to absolutely love. So thank you so much for sharing all the amazing benefits for Inzinkable.
Thank you so much.
Go buy it. Bye.